Well, with Kamala, it's mostly about the vibes, and that's because the mainstream media has really been shilling for her and promoting her as this awesome candidate and allowing her to essentially pretend to be both a moderate and a hardcore progressive, and she's been very evasive and avoiding taking positions on issues and avoiding interviews, and I think that's why some of her supporters are just supporting her mostly based on the vibes, but not a great way to pick the future leader of the free world, if you ask me.
The Democrats at the moment. I mean, yeah, it's a campaign of vibes over substance. As Joe said, hasn't done a single interview, hasn't released a single policy page on her website. I mean, her social media is full of Brat Summer and all these TikTok trends, which, you know, must be working with Gen Z. But in terms of her actual substantive policies, there's nothing.
Well, you can see why she hasn't gone and done any substantial interviews, because she's not a great performer.
No, but to be honest, I think she's quite sort of vacuous. She's a sort of bunch of, this is where her infamous word salads come in, because she doesn't actually know what she's talking about. She's a bunch of words in search of a meeting.
Notoriously reluctant to do research or to read.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I think that's the problem. I think Trump only wins when the other candidate, there is something toxic about them. There was clearly something really toxic about Hillary, a whole bunch of stuff. You can fit on a whole bunch of skeletons, blah, 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 blah. Biden, of course, we all know, the double haters. Biden, people might not like Trump, but at least he can string a sentence together. This guy's clearly got dementia. And this is why it's Kamala Harris's election to lose. They need to put pressure on her to crumble in an interview. If they can expose this secret Marxist agenda, if they can really nail all that to her and make her look like the Wicked Witch of the West, then that, I think, is their way to win. Otherwise, I think that anyone but Trump vote, which is what got Joe Biden home. Again, and Trump is phenomenal, because everyone voting for Trump is voting for Trump. So he commands each one of those votes, people who have walked through hot lava just to vote for him. That's a phenomenal amount of charisma and pull. But again, versus every single person who doesn't like Trump for their own individual reason, and that is everyone from the Romney Republicans to the Sanders Socialists. That is a huge coalition for one man to
put a number on it. I talked to James Morrow about this, and James said his research suggests that 40% of registered voters are ABT, anyone but Trump, right? But that's 40%. So he's not going to win those. He can win the election on a narrow margin, which is how he wins, without those 40%. And you've got to wonder whether the people in the middle are going to look at this woman and say, yes, that's what we want, someone who doesn't say anything. Greg Sheridan is one of my heroes as a journalist, and he coined a wonderful expression. She's offering a vibe in a vacuum. Well done, Greg. Great expression. And that, I don't believe, Joe, I don't believe you can win an election on a vibe in a vacuum. It won't work.
No, but the thing is, it's not going to be enough to get, that's not going to be toxic enough, bad enough to get people who otherwise weren't planning on showing up to vote to say, holy crap, this woman's going to destroy the country. I better get out and vote. Hold my nose and vote for
We
the
have
other guy.
got 3 months to go, and a lot can happen between now and then. And of course, the first debate that's coming up in September, I think that might change things, but we'll keep an eye on it.